And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are once again here on GG Speedruns for the Super Smash TV's 7th annual tournament. 32 of the best runners started. We are now down to the best of the best, especially in the winners bracket. Quarterfinal action happening. And it's two of the best. 40-watt range, pretty much a legacy in this tournament, going up against Tetsuoooo Daytona, or something along those lines. Tetsuoooo, who recently became number 3 for the speedrun record with a 5.20. And cards, it's a battle of somebody who's just fresh off of setting an amazing time versus against one of the longtime runners of the game.
You're absolutely right about that, Sigmafan. Good to have you here tonight here on GG Speedruns. Yes, we do have an elimination matchup between Tetsuoooo and 40WattRange, the 3rd annual Super Smash TV tournament champion here. And one of them is going to be going home, and we're going to be down to the final 11 in this year's tournament.
Oh, this is loser's bracket?
It most certainly is.
Oh, wow, this makes it all the more important then.
Yep. In the last match for each respective runner, we had the winners quarterfinals between 40WattRange and Telio won, and back and forth those two went. But Telio was able to win in a thrilling 7-game matchup, sending 40Watt down to that second chance bracket. In Tetsuo's last match against the number 14 seed Lucha Gym, it ended up being a sweep for Tetsuoooo. So these two runners are coming off two very different style paced matches. Tetsuoooo only needed 3 games. 40Watt went 7. This is going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. Winner moves on against either Oopla or Skunky48, and the loser, as I mentioned, will be out of the tournament.
Right, as we start out with, we have grenades for 40WattRange. We had invulnerability for Tetsuoooo and feet, and now feet once again for Tetsuoooo. And the first good weapon goes to 40Watt with the spreader. He's now able to clear out a lot more of the junk.
Yeah, the weapons have been dry for both runners, but as I say, that 40Watt gets it, yes.
And also of help is the Razor Shield for Tetsuoooo, who's going to be able to mow down a lot of the grunts, or should I say, all of the grunts. And now we have a tie. We have a dead tie.
Yep, 40Watt getting that ever so slight advantage by maybe half a second going into Eat My Shrapnel. We all know how this works by now as Tetsuoooo almost buys it on that swirl. It's 18 of the Mr. Shrapnels that we have to take down. A maximum of 4 can be on the screen at any given point. And if that happens, that's when you're going to start to bleed time. And Tetsuoooo is more prone to losing time because he has no orb. Does have a Razor Shield, which should help him some, and a Razor Shield for 40Watt should help finish off the room. But Tetsuoooo, he's fishing for that orb.
He's fishing for, he's grabbing every drop he can. Oh, there it is. If he can bust that, yep, he's got it. That's his orb. He's going to lose some time, though, because I think 40Watt's almost done with the room.
Right, it's a 2:10, and yeah, you're absolutely right. That shrapnel explosion means that Tetsuoooo is going to be about 5 seconds back, a little less than 5 seconds back. But more importantly, Sigma, Tetsuoooo does have the orb. But 40Watt, the first drop here in Total Carnage is that all-important Razor Shield.
And it was on the feet, too, so that helps. And the thing about Tetsuoooo is he did something smart. He spent his time, hunting for a drop. Sure, you're going to lose some time overall in that room if you don't have an orb to start or have any weapons at all. I think all I saw of his was just like 1 grenade. The rest was just like invulnerabilities and feet and dudes.
Yeah, good news though for Tetsuoooo. He also got a Razor Shield, got some Vitamin R along the way as well. Now a key and a key for 40Watt as well. So again, there is no pleasure dome on easy percent, just saying.
That's something that's going to have to be patched up. But sometimes the game likes to troll. Evil MC is kind of a bastard like that.
Look at this. We're dead even going into the secret room. Can you believe it? They are tied.
That was a lucky grab of the nuke there by Tetsuoooo, because he sensed he was at the end of the room. Nuke was there already, and he was able to use it to full advantage. he might actually be ahead by I'd say like a quarter of a second, half a second.
Half second, yeah. Tetsuoooo, and the big reason why he gained that lead, not only because of the nuke, but also that last shrapnel explosion on 40 Watt side, and neither player really gets anything to start tank trouble here.
Nope, so they got to rely on dodging, bobbing, weaving. There's some vitamin R for Tetsuoooo. Can he get it? He gets it. So now, he's got more vitamin R to play with.
These are great drops for Tetsuoooo. Unfortunately for 40 Watt, just got overwhelmed, lost his orb. Tetsuoooo poised to take a double-digit lead going into the Mutoid Man fight, but he loses his orb too late.
Yeah, so now he's got to try to hunt for a weapon. I think they might have dried up, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem for him. But now 40 Watt's got rockets. That's going to even up the race back up.
Oh yeah, he's going to gain some time back on what could have been a double-digit lead for Tetsuoooo, possibly take the lead on his own right, and this is going to be very close now because of that dropped orb. It's still going to be a Tetsuoooo lead, but instead of double digits, we're talking a second and a half now, Sigma.
That's right, now we get to Mutoid. This is where the rubber meets the road, and also where some luck really, really helps.
Yeah, if you were with us during last night's match between Brysolf and Oopla, you definitely saw the tales of Mutoid Man heavily tilting the scales of RNG in all the games.
All right, both of these runners have lobbers. Both of them have taken out the gunners. And now we have Tetsuoooo just riding the lobber train. As said earlier, he's not the first to pop the arm. 40 Watt is.
Ooh,
40
yes.
Watt, now here's the problem. Can he get it? Will it stick around? Yes, he barely gets it. It was getting ready to disappear.
Yeah, he had the time, but if he would have gotten blocked by Mutoid Man, he definitely would have missed it, no question about it. 40 Watt had just enough time as he gets a Glitchtoid Man. He's ahead, but not by much. They are both on the same form.
Yeah, 40 Watt had a little bit of a dry spell there.
Oh, that might be late.
No,
he's
it's
gonna
not.
get it still. Wow, another break there for 40 Watt as the head pops off. Should get to final form. He does. I don't think he's gonna get too much transfer. So, he gets zapped as he tries to grab the lobber there.
That is really helpful. However, I don't think it's gonna matter too much. Did he have enough transfer damage though? Body is popped for Tetsuoooo. 40 Watt is hoping to pop the body. The spreader should do it, and there it is.
Yep, 40 Watt able to hang on there as Tetsuoooo is going to come up just a little bit short. So 40 Watt is going to take the first game of this best-of-7 match with a 6-14. Tetsuoooo is going to be around 10 seconds back. A good start for these two runners here. Nice close game.
Nice close game. It was the spreaders though that tilted it. I don't think it was the first spreader that did it. It was the second spreader that did it.
Oh, absolutely, Sigma. I mean, 40 Watt was trailing only by a little bit. It was definitely anybody's game, but that second spreader, you're absolutely right, was able to get to that final form and had just enough leeway to put away Tetsuoooo in game number 1 by about 9 3/4 seconds. A good opener, though, for both.
Very solid opener for both. Now we move into round 2, and I also want to let everybody know that both of these runners would appreciate your support for each of their endeavors. So, give Tetsuoooo a follow, and also give 40WattRange a follow. Both of them very good runners in their own suspective games. Not suspective, but, their own games in their way, what they run. And I will use English rightly, I believe is the term.
Right. I think you meant respective games, but I totally understood what you were trying to say there, Sigma. And yeah, you're absolutely right. They both deserve a foul. I mean, you look at what their times are on the leaderboard. Tetsuoooo, number 3 on the leaderboard with that 520. 40 Watt, number 5 with that 523.31. About 2/9 of a second back of Princely for 4th. That's how close it is. I mean, 4, 5, 6 are separated by less than 2/5 of a second. You've got Prince Leaf at 4, 40 Watt at 5, and Telio 1 at 6. So yeah, absolutely right. We are getting down to the best of the best right here. I'll be shocked if we see any more sweeps going forward, but this is Smash TV after all.
As the runners are getting ready to start game number 2, and we'll have a couple more matches happening throughout the week, and we'll tell you more about that after this match. Not after this match, after this game.
Certainly. All right, it is game number 2 between Tetsuoooo and 40 Watt. We'll see if Tetsuoooo is able to equalize or if 40 Watt can put a stranglehold on this best-of-7 match. They both have their Razor Shield manipulations. Now it's just a matter of who has the better firing lanes, who gets the luckier spawns, and who doesn't get that, well, not just grenades. Speaking of grenades on the feet, Tetsuoooo almost picked that up, and that would have cost him quite a bit. It is going to be 40 Watt with quite a significant hole shot. He is going to have a mid-39. Tetsuoooo is going to have a mid-42, about a 3-second advantage early on.
That's true. Some really wonky spawn outs, plus he had that grenade in a very bad position where he had to do like an L pattern in order to maneuver around it, so that cost him his firing lanes, that cost him some time. Razor Shield for 40 Watt, a couple of nukes to help out. Tetsuoo's got invulnerability. Grenades on the feet for 40 Watt, so that's going to eat up a lot of his Razor Shield. And just invulnerabilities on top of invulnerabilities for Tetsuoooo. Starting off, and also feet too.
Well, they're okay if you're able to pair them up. And there's an orb on the feet for Tetsuoooo, a big, and then rockets to close out the room. He's still going to be about 8 seconds back, but he does have the orb and some rockets to start Eat My Shrapnel, so...
Oh my goodness, and the time is going to bleed.
Oh, it most certainly is for 40 Watt. I mean, we could see this close to even coming out of this room, and if 40 Watt doesn't see that orb, Tetsuoooo could really take a lead. A Razor Shield should help him finish off the room very nicely here. 40 Watt has a Razor Shield also, but still no orb. Vitamin R will definitely help him mitigate any further time loss.
There's a smart play by Tetsuoooo. Get rid of the Razor Shield. And it looks like Tetsuoooo is going to be done after this shrapnel. That 8-second lead he had is now dropped to about a 6-second lead.
Yep, about a 2-second gain there for Tetsuoooo in Eat My Shrapnel, and still no orb for 40 Watts. So if he does get Vitamin R and a Razor Shield to start and some spreaders, so if the weapons keep flowing, he can make it work. But if they start to dry up, Tetsuoooo should take the lead, provided he keeps that orb.
Yep, and he's still got it, and there's the Razor Shield for Tetsuoooo. That's going to help him out a lot. Tetsuoooo does something not recommended, is that going low to go for the door when you have the Razor Shield, because a shrapnel could pop off, and that essentially just kills your Razor Shield right there, because it becomes weak, and it is vulnerable to just being melted away.
And look at this, even without an orb, 40 Watt with a 301 maintains his lead, and he actually gained a second on Tetsuoooo. Can you believe that?
Yes, I can, with the drops that he had. Now 40 Watt, he's trying for one of the pseudo strats that we like to do, you know, that bit of luck, leave a little bit of that first batch of presents, and then the second batch pops up. Take some of there, and it's hoped to get a rocket drop.
Look at this.
Well, might want to mark that down, folks. The pseudo good luck bit actually worked out.
Oh man, rockets to start the room, and Tetsuoooo losing his orb early in tank trouble. Does get some rockets. Should be able to take down the other gunner. He does. More rockets, a spreader for 40 Watts, so... And now his first orb almost 4 minutes in, Sigma.
It came in late, so I think essentially what's going to happen with this orb is he's probably just going to hold on to it just to do a ball buster. It's not going to do him much more good in this room as it's almost already done.
Oh, but that lead should increase for 40 Watt. It's a 4:15 going into the Mutoid Man fight. Nice nuke there for Tetsuoooo. But yeah, losing that orb early is going to mean a bigger lead, but Tetsuoooo was able to hold his own, and he's still in the ball game. He's 12 seconds back.
40 Watt doing some dancing, getting that foot on from the Mutoid Man. Got the ball buster, but hasn't gotten anything to follow it up yet. Now he's got grenades.
Oh, that swirl is dangerous.
He's able to destroy it. Now Tetsuoooo is going to rockets. He's firing at the back of the head. We need to tell everybody this is kind of a new strat that has been discovered. If you don't have spreaders or lobbers, go to the back of the head. You'll be able to do double damage that way.
Interesting. Yeah, it's amazing that we continue each year to find newer and newer strats to try to take down Mutoid Man, and unfortunately, an empty drop for Tetsuoooo. Lobbers now. Will he be able to get to it?
Drop.
Yeah, but he's just able to sneak in and pick up those lobbers before it disappeared. Had just barely a little fragment of that drop that was showing that Tetsuoooo was able to pick up. But look at this spreader here for 40 Watt. A spreader for Tetsuoooo. He's going to have to go manuals here.
Yeah, Tetsuoooo would not have been able to pick it up any other way.
Head pops off for 40 Watt, and he still has the spreader left. That invulnerability, final form now for 40 Watt. It's looking good for him to take a 2-0 lead in this match.
Yep, and Tetsuoooo not getting any drops at all.
And he got a lot of transfer as well. I mean,
that was really late drop for Tetsuoooo, but it didn't matter.
No. 40 Watt once again, the RNG favoring him on the Mutoid Man fight, finishes up with a 603. Yeah, he got a lot of transfer damage. He just needed a couple of lobbers to finish the job there, and 40 Watt cruising in this match.
That's what happens, folks, and well, there's not much you can say about that one. Even if Tetsuoooo was able to keep his orb, it wouldn't have been enough. No,
because he's going to end up losing by almost 40 seconds. That's just the difference of the quality of the Mutoid Man drops. I mean, Tetsuoooo did get the one spreader, wasn't in a good spot, didn't get the invulnerability to pair up with it to capitalize the maximum amount of damage, and 40 Watt with a 38-second victory is halfway there to making it to the next round of the second chance bracket. Tetsuoooo, if you want my honest opinion, I think this is a must-win for Tetsuoooo. He cannot afford to go down 3-0 in this match against somebody like 40 Watt. I mean, 40 Watt, to my knowledge, is still the only person in Super Smash TV tournament history to come back from 3-0 down and win a best-of-7 match. I don't believe anybody else has accomplished that feat.
I don't think so either. And while the runners are setting up, let's talk about some of the other matches that'll be coming up this week. I could hold down my talk button and be able to have it pop up, leave it pop up at the same time, but I can't do that. It happens.
And no problem at all. We'll get to those matches maybe at the end of our coverage here tonight. But
no, I have it right here. It's Mr. Dino going up against Prince Leaf.
Yep, that match is going to be at on Saturday, I believe, 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 Central. So that should be a good one. I'm looking forward to that. I mean, those two have definitely had a history together in the Super Smash TV tournament over the years. I expect it to be a thriller once again. Good luck.
And away we go with game number 3.
All right. Again, I personally think this is a must-win for Tetsuoooo here if he really wants to have a good shot at coming back to take this match. Let's see if he can get that third game.
Yep, he's going to need a little bit of luck to do so, and the skills are there. He just has to be getting the luck in the Mutoid Man fight. Some weird spawn outs, and unfortunately...
Nuke on the feet!
And that always hurts, but it's not going to hurt him too badly, though. He's going to be about a second and a half back.
Yeah, it's an upper 39 versus a mid 41. I'd call it a 2 3/4. I mean, yeah, the nuke does hurt, but yeah, that could have been a lot worse, Sigma.
Yep, it's still early on. He can still recover from it. There's plenty of time, like this Razor Shield on the feet right here.
Yeah, but 40 Watt getting the better drop in this the Rockets, and if he has efficient firing lanes, he can turn a really good time here in collect power. Tetsuoooo needs to get something, and he's fishing for that orb.
Not a bad strategy, though, to fish. It's one of the 2 trains of thought you'll see in this room because it's so early on, and there's some drops that won't pop in this room. One is to fish for the drops, just take every drop you can and hope the spawn pops up, and the other one is maybe wait to have the drop pop in Eat My Shrapnel and just get there quicker.
9-second lead for 40 Watt. Neither player has an orb as Tetsuoooo going to use the nuke. That room was getting overwhelmed, so there's going to be a time penalty. So it might be worth it in the long run. An orb on the feet for 40 Watt with rockets in hand. He is sitting pretty right now, Sigma.
That is the RNG favoring the favorites, as like to be said on this channel. And what happened with Tetsuoooo earlier, just to clarify, he was kind of doomed to take that nuke because it was in his entrance lane.
Oh, yeah. Now, 40 Watt lost his orb, and he gets a replacement to start the room. Yeah, you're right. RNG favoring the favorites and underwhelming the underdogs. I mean, 40 Watt, even though Tetsuoooo has the better PB, it is 40 Watt who is the number 4 seed, and Tetsuoooo is the number 11 seed.
Right, but that happened because Tetsuoooo got that PB only a few days ago, so it had no bearing in the seedings.
Yeah, absolutely right there. So Tetsuoooo still orbless here, and no joke, if he gets bad weapons here in Total Carnage, I'm not kidding. I think he could be 45 seconds back.
He'll be back, but he won't be that far back. He's going to get the Razor Shield. That's going to help him out a lot. And he's got the grenades on the feet again.
And look at that perfect nuke, a 256 for 40 Watt. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. It's just been some high-quality drops happening for 40 Watt. And he's just been taking advantage of all of it. Tetsuoooo still waiting on an orb, still waiting on a quality drop. It's not going to matter too much. It is the end of the room, and he's going to have that treble blow. He's going to be out at like a 322.
Yeah, he's 26 seconds back. I mean, he's done a good job with what the game has given him, which has been pretty much absolutely nothing. But the facts remain here, Sigma. He's 26 seconds back and has no orb going into tank trouble. And if 40 Watt can keep that orb healthy, maybe 45 seconds would be the lead going into Mutoy Man. I mean, and if you've ever watched Super Smash TV tournament play, coming back from 45 seconds into the Mutoy Man fight is almost impossible to come back from.
We've seen some close. I think we had like a 28 or a 29 second lead evaporate. And what's been going on here, Tetsuoooo, is just that nothing's happening. And I felt this before during a tournament where I had no drops.
40 Watt, a clean tank trouble there, under 410 with a 408 going into Mutoy Man, and he'll have an opportunity at the ball buster. Tetsuoooo, this has been an orbless run up to this point.
Which is the worst bit of luck you could have. 40 Watt essentially does take care of the swirl. He's going for the ball buster early because the drop is covered up, and he's able to pick it off almost at the blink of a second.
Tetsuoooo had gotten an orb, but then lost it as the soldiers were waiting for him on the right-hand door as he was trying to pick up the rockets here. And yeah, that lead is 38 seconds for 40 Watt. Tetsuoooo is definitely in the running. If he can get a couple of spreaders here, as 40 Watt's picked off. It is rockets. That's going to slow him down some. Both arms have popped off. Tetsuoooo is going to need a strong beginning.
That's not a strong beginning.
I mean, at least he'll take out the gunners and back-to-back rockets. Yeah, these weapons, again, favoring forward. And now he gets a spreader in a good spot. Will he be able to get to it? No, he's blocked. This time, not so fortunate.
But he's just riding all of these drops. He's going to ride them till the wheels fall off is what he's aiming for.
Yeah, he is still 2 full forms ahead of Tetsuoooo. As he gets a spreader, he does get out of the way for Tetsuoooo. And look at this. They're on the same form. And he's taking the lead.
And now we have a tie game, and 40 Watt's got the lead again because he's had a drop.
Yeah, he's got the better quality weapon. You are absolutely right about that. But Tetsuoooo has erased that 38-second deficit. 40 Watt is back in the lead, but look how close this is, Sigma.
And now it's a matter of who gets the right drops. It's rockets versus grenades.
DPS is better on Tetsuoo's side.
Yeah, but it's a little bit. It's gonna be close.
Now he's got a lobber. Oh, he's got it. Tetsuoooo comes back from 38 seconds down. A huge critical win for Tetsuoooo.
That is the biggest erased deficit in the history of the tournament. I do believe 38 seconds wiped in the blink of an eye.
We'll have to go to all of the stat keepers around here, Sigma, but I think you're absolutely right. I can't recall a match where somebody came back from that kind of deficit. Unbelievable. Tetsuoooo got the drops he needed. He got that one big spreader, and Mutoid Man went away so that Tetsuoooo could pick it up. If he doesn't go away from that, I mean, 40 Watt wins by plenty, but that one little bit of RNG there, Sigma, did it for Tetsuoooo, and he is back in this match.
That's right. 2-1 now for Tetsuoooo. He's going to hope these good vibrations help ride him through these next few games. And what more needs to be said?
Oh, I know. All right, I'm getting a word from Brysolf here that we did have a 49-second comeback in a previous tournament, but this is definitely the biggest comeback we've had in this year's tournament.
Right, I think everybody out there might want to put a little gold star right next to this particular game. It might be in the running. We have every year, like we have the 10 best moments.
It's going to be in there.
Yeah.
It's going to be in there. There is no doubt in my mind, Sigma, that this match, that game that you just saw right there, Tetsuoooo coming back from 38 seconds back, is a top 10 moment. No question about it.
And all 40 Watt can do is just know that he played great. He played the drops as they were meant to be played. Just a little bit of bad luck.
Oh, absolutely. I thought it was looking like 40 Watt was going to take that commanding 3-0 lead. And I've said this many times so far in this tournament, Sigma. RNG is a fickle mistress, and maybe that is the TSN turning point, as some people would tell me.
I don't get TSN. I'm not in Canada.
No, well, any of that.
I understood it, though, but...
Okay, good. Let's move on to game number 4 here. Let's see if Tetsuoooo could tie up this match, or 40 Watt could take a 3-1 lead and have 3 opportunities to wrap it up.
And both of the runners have a bad drop in almost the exact same location. And now the exact same drop again, but this time in a different location. But Tetsuoooo was able to dance around it easier, and he is going to be out of this room with a 2-second head start.
Yep, a low 38. That's a really, really good time. That was a much better Arena 1 there for Tetsuoooo. Easily his best one, taking that 2-second advantage. And starting with a first drop orb. Oh, my word.
And he almost lost it, too, but he was able to duck out of the way of the spawn out of that right-hand side door. And he's now just letting it all hang out.
Well, certainly indeed. A spreader for 40 Watt. Tetsuoooo hasn't got really anything to complement that orb. I still expect he's going to come out of this room with the lead. It's just not going to be as big as you probably would expect, but still a 77 out of that room. 40 Watt with the nuke. That is unfortunately not the end of the room, and he is going to be double digits back. 10 seconds and an orb going into Eat My Shrapnel. So yeah, the RNG tides are starting to turn right now, Sigma.
They are turning. He's now hunting, and it might be turning in the right favor. He's got the rocket drop, and in this room, one rocket drop can essentially just keep you in this room and just hold you over.
Yeah, Sigma, if you don't have an orb going in this room, those rockets are going to be a lifesaver. They'll enable you to keep control of the room. You'll be able to take down all of the foot soldiers. It'll be a 2-minute flat for Tetsuoooo going into total carnage. That's unfortunately going to be the last drop for 40 Watt, and he is still going to be 10 seconds back, but more importantly, he still has no orb.
Meanwhile, Tetsuoooo has orb, has razor shield, but 40 Watt has rockets. Now Tetsuoooo has rockets. He's got the twisty rockets. By God, Kang.
Yeah, 40 Watt took the death. I don't know if that was intentional just because the rockets were there. I'm just going to assume it was not. More rockets now for Tetsuoooo as he still has a little bit of that razor shield left. Things are going very well from him. Finally, an orb drop for 40 Watts so he can mitigate any kind of time loss. But look at this time for Tetsuoooo. 250 into the bonus room. That is a fantastic time for Tetsuoooo. I mean, he's on a good pace right now. If he can get some good drops in tank trouble, we could see a PB alert on Tetsuoo's side. Only 2 runners have had a 5-1X or better, being Brysolf and the world record holder, CHX42. The 40 watt, yeah, unfortunately, the damage done having no orb. He is 25 seconds back. But we saw what just happened in game number 3, so anything is possible.
Yep, and Tetsuo's got himself some spreaders that's able to take care of some of the riffraff, including one of the gunners. Able to clear a tick. Now he's just wiggling, waggling, trying to keep those firing lanes as good as he can, but it's hard when you do have a gunner outstanding.
Does get the second gunner down and is trying to keep control in the middle. That nuke will definitely help him. Rockets to start the room for 40 watt. That is what the doctor ordered here. He may have an opportunity. More vitamin R for 40 watt. This is what he needs to try to cut into Tetsuo's lead.
That's exactly right. Meanwhile, Tetsuo just keeping with the firing lanes. He's almost done with the room. He's just hoping one of them doesn't blow up. He doesn't. He's out at a 407.
Yeah, not the greatest of weapon drops there, but yeah, Tetsuoooo kept the orb clean, and he still has the lead. We'll see if 40 watt is able to gain any time. Again, it was a 407. He's definitely gained some time, a good chunk of it as well.
And big advantage lost for Tetsuoooo. Not able to get a ball buster going, took a death. I think what happened is just some cross-firing between the gunners got him.
Yep, 18 seconds is the deficit, and yeah, that lost opportunity at the ball buster is definitely going to hurt him. 40 watt has no drop right now. He does have lobbers now, but Tetsuoooo still has the lead, trying to pop off that second arm. Should be able to do so with these lobbers.
And he's able to do that, but steps on a nuke. Thankfully, the lobbers were still on the screen when he was able to take them.
Yeah, 40 watt got swirled in the beginning of that fight. That's why he got off to such a rough beginning here. So that is not ideal when you're down 18 seconds and your opponent just missed an opportunity at a ball buster. Tetsuoooo, that lead is widening right now. 40 watt needs a spreader, and he needs it right now, or we're going to be equalized at 2 games apiece.
Well, it just goes back to what you said earlier. RNG is a fickle mistress, and it's been showing at this game for, unfortunately for 40 watt on the opposite end, but on the good end for Tetsuoooo, who's now popped the body. He's on his final form. He's got rockets, and now it's all just a matter of riding it out, popping off that head, and tying up this match.
As long as he stays away from, and that's it. It'll be about a 6-11 for Tetsuoooo. GG. What was a best-of-7 series, Sigma, is now a best-of-3. We are tied at 2 games apiece.
Wouldn't have it any other way, Cards.
Oh, you'll love to see it. You know, we had a very exciting match yesterday. We were at this very same spot. We had Brysolf and Oopla tied at 2 games apiece, setting up for this best-of-3, and we've got it set up once again. So this is going at the very minimum 6 games. 40 watt going to wrap this one up. He's on final form, but he is just not going to be pleased about this time. And 40 watt really didn't do too much wrong in this match. It's just the RNG tides in these last 2 games, I'd say game and a half, have flung in Tetsuoo's favor, and 40 watt's going to end up losing by about 48, 49 seconds.
That is true, and plus what also doesn't help is that swirl was really wide and really janky at the beginning, and he couldn't control it.
No, and that was just unfortunate there. Just got off on the wrong foot on that Mutoid Man fight, but I think even if that didn't happen, I don't think the comeback was happening. Tetsuoooo, when you're coming in with a 407, you're finished with a 610, that's pretty respectable, and Tetsuoooo, right now, he's feeling it. He's looking poised. He's got the confidence right now that he could take down the 3rd annual champion.
It all remains to be seen these next these 2, possibly 3 games. By the way, if I remember correctly, watching that fight, Tetsuoooo did not have a spreader in that Mutoid fight, I don't believe.
No, I mean, it just goes to show you can have a solid Mutoid Man fight without a spreader. I mean, if you can chain lobbers together and hit that sweet spot to deal the maximum amount of damage, it's old school strats. I mean, you look at the old world records that Brysolf had in this game, you know, lobber was the weapon that you wanted to have. Old school strats in a race situation, more often than not, are going to lead you to victory.
Exactly, and everybody's getting set. Tetsuoooo, 40W getting set for game number 5. 5 Alive. 5 Alive. If you remember that.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of 5 Alive. I think that's a brand of juice.
Yeah, it's mainly all citrus juices.
Right. Okay, folks, it is game number 5, a crucial game number 5 for both of these runners. Tetsuoooo has picked off the last 2 games. We'll see if he can make it 3 in a row, or 40W can get back into the winner's circle and have 2 opportunities to wrap up this match. Here we go.
And 40W's got a little bit of a disadvantage with that nuke in a really bad position, so he can't use the middle of the room to his best ability. So now it's just a matter of keeping the firing lanes clear, and although he was a little bit disadvantaged at the start, he will leave on a hole shot by, looks like it's going to be about a half a second, a high 39 versus a mid 40.
Looked like about a second for a 40W, but yes, he is going to have the hole shot, definitely a 180 from game number 4. Let's see what the opening drops are. Grenades versus a razor shield. Early advantage to 40W, but then gets a grenade on the feet.
He does, but it's not going to matter too much because he could swing that razor shield right into the grunts and he'll be okay. However, Tetsuoooo gets lucky and winds up with the orb, so he's able to clean up this room a whole lot more.
Now, once again, Tetsuoooo getting the early RNG in the game here, and he's going to come out of this room with the lead with a 123. But 40W did a good job. He's about 2.5 seconds back. But again, he is fishing for that orb. A good start for Tetsuoooo. If he can clear the room, that swirl almost picked him up, but Tetsuoooo keeps it clean. He's got the razor shield.
And not only that, remember, he's still got that orb, so he could just stay in the middle of this room, right where he is. And while I was saying that, RNG kind of blessed 40W with an orb of his own, so game on.
Yep, that's exactly what you want to see. I mean, 40W has dealt with some real bad RNG this last game and a half here, and finally the game throwing a bone for 40W, and as long as he keeps the firing lanes good and active, he'll maintain that 2.5 second deficit. In fact, he gained a half a second. It's now a 2-second deficit.
And now we can see what the good drops are. Well, they're good for Tetsuoooo. Starts off with spreader, clear off all the grunts at the top, and then the good old Vitamin R on both sides of the field.
Equal opportunity drops, you'll love to see it, and then you get empty drops on both sides, so that's what you want to see. You want to keep it dudes for both runners, so it's all about who's going to get the firings, and now here's the RNG flowing a little bit in 40W's favor with that razor shield.
It also goes back to what I said about 2 trains of thought. Some people will pick up a lot of the drops if they're close by to see what else will pop, to see if anything good will pop, like a rocket or a spreader or a razor shield. And as you see on the opposite, and that's what you saw on 40W. On Tetsuoo's side, he decided to ride...
Look at this. He's got rockets to take with him to tank trouble at a 3-minute flat. 40W is going to have a 3:04, a 4.5 second lead for Tetsuoooo. All right, folks, it is time for Taco Bell product placement with Taco Bell.
God, I'm hungry right now. Thanks, 40.
I know, right? But yeah, 40W was able to maintain the pace for the most part, but yep, Tetsuoooo is going to have that 4.5 second and rocket advantage into tank trouble, starting with a nuke, and he could conserve those rockets if he so chooses, but he loses the orb.
He swung a little too wildly there.
Ooh, a big mistake there for Tetsuoooo, and 40W's getting rockets upon rockets here. Rockets though for Tetsuoooo, he did take a death, so I believe as long as 40W keeps this orb healthy, well, as I say that, Tetsuoooo gets a replacement orb. I think still though, I think we're going to see a change in the leadership.
I do too. Tetsuoooo swung that orb too wildly. He hunted for a rocket, got it, but then a grunt just kind of gave him a little nudge to the back, said, nope. And As we say that, it does look like 40 Watts going to have the advantage by about 3 seconds.
Not even 2 seconds. It was a 413 versus a 414. 40 Watt with the ever so slight advantage. They both have a ball buster opportunity. Let's see how this plays out. A grenade, nothing doing. A spreader. I don't know about this. Yeah, Tetsuoooo will be able to get to this, I think. Yes.
Yeah, Tetsuoooo saw it right away. Knew that he was on a mine. And now, interesting strange by Tetsuoooo, but I do understand it because both gunners are still out. They're still on him, so he wanted to play safe.
Yep, and they're both still out there. He's got a spray. He's going to have to do, man. Got quite a few before he got run over there, but nicely done. This is a very even-Steven game right now. This crucial game number 5. Another spreader for 40 Watt. This could potentially give him the opportunity to put this one away, especially if an invulnerability shows up.
It doesn't show up, but the body's popped already, so he's on his final form.
Yeah, Tetsuoooo has the head popped off. Empty drop, though, for 40 Watt. Here's Tetsuoooo with an opportunity, maybe. But he's missing a lot of shots, Sigma.
Right, he tried to find a way to get to that lobber without running his prep. Ooh, but this could be interesting, folks. This could
I think it's
block.
too late. Yeah, it's too late. The great drop, but too late, and Tetsuoooo wasn't able to get to the drop anyways. And 40 Watt is going to take game number 5, and the 3rd annual champion is 1 win away from advancing to the next round. Tetsuoooo going to have to do what he just did a few moments ago, find a way to win back-to-back. A sub 550 for 40 Watt. Very nice time there.
And that just shows you how good of a comeback you can have in this game. He was a little bit behind going into tank trouble, but some good play on his front in that room and also for Mutoid turns the tables, and he's now got the advantage.
Yep, wins that one by 33 seconds on the dot. Can you believe they both have .90 at the end of their timer? And 40 Watt, RNG, a fickle mistress. It happened again. Once Tetsuoooo lost that orb, 40 Watt was getting rockets upon rockets, which easily helped to propel him through tank trouble, and then just got a couple of great spreaders on Mutoid, man, and he is back in the lead, 3-2. Can Tetsuoooo pull off another back-to-back victory to steal this one from 40 Watt, or will 40 Watt finish it here in game number 6? This has been a great match.
It has been a great match, very back and forth. Let's see how it all plays out at the end. We know Tetsuoooo is capable of very fast times. He's got the number. That's why he's got the number 3 spot in the leaderboard with 5 minutes 20 seconds. 40 Watt is also capable of very fast times, and as both of these runners are readying up, they're getting the go from Mr. Dino, our restreamer. And ladies and gentlemen, here we go for game number 6.
In my opinion, the key for Tetsuoooo to winning game number 6 here, Sigma, he's going to have to clean up that tank trouble. You can't be giving away orbs like that, especially in a close match that we saw there. And, you know, I mean, I'm not saying that Tetsuoooo lost the match right then and there in tank trouble, but you could certainly really put yourself behind the 8 ball if you don't play it well.
Right. He also didn't have that many good drops when he did drop the orb. He did have a couple things. Ooh, but very advantageous nuke by 40 Watt there to finish up the first room. He's going to have the whole shot lead by maybe a little less than a second.
Yeah, about 3/4 of a second. You're absolutely right there, Sigma. But it's a negligible lead, as Mr. Burgundy would say in the commentator's booth. And look at this, 40 Watt with the first drop orb and a foot for Tetsuoooo. Major advantage early for 40 Watt.
That's right. With invulnerabilities and nades right now flying right now, the nades are really flying for Tetsuoooo. He is picking them up because, once again, as I said prior, he's hunting for that orb, and this is a good room to hunt for the orb because you're not going to fall behind too badly in this room. You can still make up time, and he's going to have the rockets, which is going to finish up the room for him.
Yeah, 120 plays a 127, so about a 7-second lead. But yeah, Tetsuoooo, he needs this orb to show up and eat my shrapnel, or he could really be up the crick without a paddle. And a razor shield for 4. He does get the orb. Tetsuoooo needed to see that to stay alive.
And now he's playing conservatively with the rockets. He's just tapping the controller when it comes to the rockets. And that is a good weapon to see. That's more rockets. He's going to pick it up. So he's going to have rockets going into Total Carnage.
Yep, this should be the last one for Tetsuoooo. And yep, he maintains that 7-second deficit, but he's got that better drop. Grenades on the feet for 40 watt. Rockets to start the room for Tetsuoooo to carry over. Rockets though for 40 watts, so both of these runners and more vitamin R now for 40 watts. So right now the weapon drops favoring 40 watt again here in Total Carnage. Tetsuoooo holding his own with what the game has given him, but if this keeps up, 40 watt should have a double-digit lead. But right as I say that, Sigma, the all-important razor shield.
Right, now he can stay in the center. He can control his firing lanes more efficiently. He's just got to stay not as far down as he normally does, otherwise the razor shield will melt a lot quicker than what it is.
Well, maybe he's figuring he's closing in on the end of the room and, wants to burn that razor shield as soon as possible. It is still going to be a 40 watt lead, but look at this. 2:59, Tetsuoooo has cut the lead to 3 seconds.
Some very good play for Tetsuoooo there. And now it's all going to matter what is going to be the first drop for both of these runners. Both of them are looking for rockets or razor shields, because a razor shield will help protect yourself from the shrapnels, because they tend to explode quickly in this room.
Yeah, 40 watt had not the best firing lanes, but he also got sabotaged by the grenades twice in that room, and that's what caused him to lose some of that lead here. Not good drops for either player starting, so level pegging here. And Tetsuoooo again, and he takes a death in tank trouble here. And again, this is what I alluded to at the start of this game, Sigma.
Exactly right, and he's not getting any good weapons to help him out.
But look at this, 40 watt, he drops the orb too.
Big advantage lost by 40 watt, but rockets now on Tetsuoo's side, so he's able to have a higher DPI and just be able to maybe inch his way back into contention here. And a razor shield for Tetsuoooo.
Oh yeah, these are some nice drops that he's gotten after losing the orb, unlike what we saw in game number 5. It's still going to be a 40 watt lead, but it could have been a lot bigger if he didn't drop that orb. It's a 4:23, but that clock is still bleeding on Tetsuoo's side, but he is going to be about 10 seconds back. Call it 9.5 with a 4:32. This is anybody's game once again, Sigma, but this is a must for Tetsuoooo. But look at this drop for 41. He can't take the death.
Nope. And
are you kidding me?
Let's see, can he pull it out? Yeah, he can pull it out. He's got it.
He ran into the mine, and the drop that immediately came was a spreader as he gets run over, and he will not get to those lobbers. My word, you cannot script that though, Sigma.
No, you can't, actually. I'm at a loss for words on that one.
I know. All right, so back-to-back rockets for 40 watt. Tetsuoooo has grenades. The second arm is popped off, so they're both on the same 40 watt with a slight lead right now. But look at this spread for Tetsuoooo.
And in
beautiful spot. But he
perfect
went away.
Position. It may have gotten away, but he's going to take the lead.
Oh, he definitely will take the lead. He picks up another spreader. If he gets an invulnerability, then he gets another spreader. Oh, my goodness. We could be seeing a game number 7 right here. Let's see what happens. Final form coming soon here. There's the final form. What kind of transfer damage is Tetsuoooo going to have there? Lobbers should finish the job here. And it does. We go to a 7th, Sigma.
Oh, boy. This is what we all came to see. He got 2 perfect spreader drops. And that's what helped turn the table. And now a 5:59. Oh! And some bad luck at the end for 40 watt. He had everything going, and then a shrapnel just clipped him at the end.
Wow.
Now he's got a couple of empty drops.
That's typical Final Form Mutoid Man right there, Sigma, that you're seeing. He only needed a couple of shots to finish it off, of course, because the game knows. But GG to Tetsuoooo, winning 3 of the last 4 here to set up game number 7. It doesn't get much more exciting than this, Sigma.
Remember how I said earlier that the comeback might want to put a gold star right next to it for a top 10 moment of this tournament? Well, depending on how this 7th match goes, we might need to put another gold star. This has the potential, if both of these runners race to how good they are, or at least close to it, this could be a top 10 match of all time.
Oh, no question about it. I mean, at the very least, you're talking match of the tournament, but top 10 match of all time, yeah. I'm going to tell you in my opinion, what would make this a top 10 match of all time. I think if this is within 5 seconds, that's how close. I know it's a big ask, but if this game is within 5 seconds or less, no question about it, you're looking at a top 10 match of all time and the match of the tournament.
I think for now, we all just need to breathe.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, these runners are going to take as much time as they need to before getting set up for the 7th and decisive game. The decider here at GG Speedruns, Tetsuoooo versus 40W. Win or go home.
In the showcase of the Immortals, Tetsuoooo versus 40W. Game 7. They have readied up. They're being counted down. You ready to fight? You ready to fight?
Ready.
You ready to fight? Get on!
Good luck. All right, away we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's game number 7. Tetsuoooo, 3 games. 40W, 3 games. Winner moves on to the next round. The loser is eliminated. We're going to be down to 11 competitors at the end of this game. The next 6 minutes are going to tell the tale of the tape.
So we have the product placement of Taco Bell. What would be our tale of the tape? The ICS tale of the tape?
Well, I think it's going to come down. I mean, Tetsuoooo, once again, he lost that orb, but 40W was the one that made the mistake. I know RNG plays a huge factor in the Mutoid Man fight, but I think this is going to be one of those games, Sigma, that's going to boil down to execution. I think the player who has the better execution in this game is going to get rewarded with that win. That's my opinion. But look at this, a Tetsuoooo open an orb.
Right, but 40W's got a nice spreader drop too, so he's using that to clear out the doorways. Tetsuoooo has got spreaders, and now he's got the razor shield, which he's just going to use for protection.
Yeah, these are some great drops here, and an orb for 40W as well. So this is what you want to see here, the equal opportunity for the orbs. It is going to be a Tetsuoooo lead, as he's going to have an 80 versus an 81. It's a less than 2-second lead for Tetsuoooo. Let's see what happens here in Eat My Shrapnel.
And both of these runners off to hot starts, avoiding the shrapnels, getting rid of the swirls quickly. It's a matter of controlling that center and getting rid of all 18 of these shrapnels in this room. However, rockets for Tetsuoooo, he hasn't picked them up yet. There he is.
Yeah, he wanted to wait until the last moment so that, and of course they gave him another rocket drop, because why the heck not? He's looking for this to be the end of the room, have a full clip to take with him into Total Carnage. He's got a 2:02, and 40W did lose a little bit of time. It's now about a 2.5-second lead for Tetsuoooo, but 40W does have rockets to start the room.
And I think that's the more advantageous time to have the rockets. Not at the start of the room to have them, but a little bit later, like immediately afterwards, because when you have the big grouping around you, you don't have the firing lanes available. And in order to get those firing lanes open, you got to burn a lot of rockets. So that is the best time to have rockets. That would be your first drop, not coming into this room with a full clip.
Towards the end of the room, 40-watt does get a razor shield. That'll enable him to keep control of the middle. Ooh, grenades on the feet for Tetsuoooo. A sabotage there. A very late razor shield for Tetsuoooo. That'll enable him to close out the room himself. So it's hard to say who's going to come out on top, but it does look like it is going to be Tetsuoooo with the 258. 40-watt with the 259. They're both sub 3 into the bonus room. How do you like that?
This is what we want to see in this match. We want to see it close. We want to see good running. We want to see good fire, or we want to see carnage. We want to see mayhem. And we're getting it with game number 7.
And now, this first drop is going to be critical for both.
Yep. I'm hoping for double rockets.
I just want equal opportunity drops here. Let's see what we get. It's a foot versus spreader. Advantage 40-watt. Not a huge advantage, but an advantage nonetheless.
Yeah, but that was a spreader in a very bad position.
Exactly. And a foot now for 40-watt, and we may be seeing the T. Oh, but 40-watt loses the orb as he's going to get rockets. Now, if you don't have an orb, and he gets a razor shield to go with it, so this could help. And Tetsuoooo loses his orb too.
Yeah, that hurts. And what even hurts more is that the razor shield was starting to come up, and just as when that razor shield was starting to come around, pop goes the orb. Now he's got rockets to hopefully finish up this room.
Oh, definitely indeed. So a battle of attrition here for both runners. Oh, 40-watt cannot get the Shrapnel out on time. And because of that, look at this, 4:14, 4:15, less than 2 seconds difference going into the fight.
This is going to determine it, folks, this Mutoid fight. That 2-second advantage means nothing in this race.
And they both get a key to start the room. What's going on here?
Yeah, but the advantage goes to Tetsuoooo. He was able to pick it up first. However, unfortunately for Tetsuoooo, he can't see the weapon. It was being covered up. Now it's being covered up.
Oh, and another key for 40-watt. They're both getting sabotaged here. I love it.
Rockets for Tetsuoooo, and following up with more rockets. He's able to take out not able to take out the other guy, so he's just interested in dealing more damage. Grenades now for Tetsuoooo.
And they're both still on the first form here. You know, we're deep into this fight. I mean, another key on invulnerable. This is a disgusting Mutoid Man fight.
Well, you said you wanted equal opportunity drops. There it is.
Spreader on the feet there for Tetsuoooo. A nice player too, Spreader. He's going to try for the manuals here. Going to try to get cornered so he gets a nice manual. He's doing a great job getting manuals in there. He'll change it up for the lobbers, but right now it is a Tetsuoooo lead, and he's got the ribcage exposed. But look at this Spreader.
And he
can't take the death. He cannot take the death. He's got to go man. But look at this.
Wow, that's the key right there. He was able to get that invulnerability.
This?
He gets picked off.
He gets picked off. What is this for 40-watt? It's a spreader, and he could not take the death. He's going to have to go manuals here. Is Tetsuoooo going to finish off? He does! He has done it, ladies and gentlemen. Tetsuoooo wins 4 out of the last 5 games of this best of 7, and he will be moving on to the next round of the second chance bracket, and we have to say goodbye to the 3rd annual champion 40-watt. What a match!
That was the type of match we wanted to see. We wanted to see a very close match come all the way down to the end, and it did come all the way down to the end. It was just we had some really awful drops at the beginning, and Mutoid Man was covering up drops on both sides, but Tetsuoooo was able to take a death when he needed it, able to get those spreaders, and then at the end of that run, he had a spreader, he couldn't die for it, but the invulnerability popped up, he took full advantage of that spreader, and Tetsuoooo is moving on, and unfortunately, 40-watt is eliminated in 12th place.
My goodness gracious, what a phenomenal match we just got done with here on GG Speedruns between 40WattRange and Tetsuoooo, but it is going to be the number 11 seed, Tetsuoooo, moving on to the next round, and he will be facing the winner of either Oopla or Skunky 48. Oh my goodness gracious. These last 2 nights have produced some high octane matches. We knew coming in they were going to be exciting matches, and they have not disappointed.